Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Matt, and this was going to be a very different video, but it turns out that this became a fairly bleak week in Gran Turismo history. On Wednesday morning, many players had awoken to begin the fifth round of the Manufacturers' Cup and had noticed that Renault, which was in a fairly good position, is now barely on the cusp of even qualifying. So many individuals had the correct question of, why did Renault lose so many points? And it turns out that news had broke that there are 4 players that played in Renaults under that manufacturer category that are now being implicated in a cheating scandal. The 4 players in question are GT World Series Manufacturer Cup champion Matteo Esteneves, a 3-time World Series, Gran Turismo World Series specifically, finals attendee Martin Marza, Toyota Gazoo Racing Cup finalist Carl Edmenesen, and a 17-year-old Spanish driver, which I will be following in the lead of GT Planet and not naming him due to him being a minor. So what actually happened? These 4 drivers appear to be a part of the GT Spain 92 esports team or racing league, and essentially the rules of conduct that were broken were using each other's accounts to race for one another. What do I mean by that? So, in the 3rd rule of when you log in and you Reddit the Gran Turismo World Series Qualifier rules and conduct and whatnot, the massive just scrolling text, rule number 3 was you're not to use multiple accounts, race under other people's accounts, or, well, basically engage in nefarious conduct. So the deal is that the Spanish driver had raced for Carl under his account for round 1. It appeared that the Spanish driver had raced for Martin under his account for rounds 2 and 4. And then Matteo had raced for Carl during round 3. So you all may be asking, well, why would individuals want to race under other accounts when, they have their own? And there was a tweet by Martin who actually provided maybe a little bit of context. As providing a brief summary, Martin's tweets: I'm a grown man now, I have a home, I am a father, and depend on me exclusively. By this, my time behind the wheel has been reduced by 90% in the last 2 years. In addition to health problems that prevent me from driving for more than 2 hours, my level of performance has simply declined. So essentially, in a lot of this case, what you can do is, for instance, let's just say you're very good at the Nürburgring, and in a racing league, other people have noticed that, like, you're setting just blistering lap times. They say, hey, you're really good at the Nürburgring, but I'm really good at Barcelona's Catalunya. So let's just say you race for me, you race under your own account, and then in a different split, you race under my account. And then during round 3, then I'll race for your account under one split, and then I'll race under my own for Catalunya. That way, we're getting the best possible results for the manufacturer that we both race under. So, that being said, massive implications there. What is the result of this all being found out? So the result of this has been that Carl and the Spanish driver have had all of the results for all 4 rounds. Of course, this happened prior to the 5th round on Wednesday, so the 4 rounds prior to then completely erased, while Martin and Matteo have had some individual rounds being cleared. This has also resulted in GT Spain 92 going out of their way and saying, look, this is not okay. We had no knowledge of this situation. This was completely done by these individuals on their own. And we have since come out and basically banned them and kicked them out of the team for good reason, saying that they're also not involved in any future events. And of course, they are not involved or aware of any illegal or nefarious activities. There are also some separate tweets that Matteo and Martin have come out and sincerely apologized for their involvement in the affairs. And Edmenizen has also replied to a tweet to the top Renault player for potentially cannibalizing their chances in getting into the finals due to this whole affair. This has ultimately resulted in Renault losing 25 points in the European region and 33 in the Americas region, which, when things are getting this tight already by round 4, I believe it kicked them from position 9 to position 12, and within 5 or 10 points, position 13 is looking like they can easily catch up to them in the next couple of rounds. We'll see how this plays out in the next couple of days. We'll know by Monday, by what I imagine a lot of you will see the video by then. This has been an interesting saga, being, again, this is, as you saw just last week, I was posting videos on my first time being involved in the World Series Qualifier. And for the first time, seeing playing out in real time how a cheating scandal unfolds. Of course, this information is only accurate up to about Thursday morning. So if there are any further developments to the story or any further developments by Polyphony or Sony or anybody, this will probably have to be updated in some way, shape, or form. So I apologize if you guys are seeing this video and there's already information that's out of date. This is what I know to the point of the recording of the video. But like I was saying, it's interesting watching this all unfold in real time. A lot of people have been kind of interested as to why Polyphony themselves have not commented on this scandal. But I think they've done pretty much all they need to. They understood that there's an issue. They probably have an IP tracker of some flavor where they're like, okay, so here's all, like, a bunch of people in the Renault team, and you can tell that this race, this IP address is here and here, and then for this race, these two accounts have a different IP address, and they're like, okay, yeah, that's pretty suspect. We know what's going on, type thing. So the fact that Polyphony just came out and deleted the points and said, all right, that's it, you know, in my mind is enough. They don't need to release any formal statements or this, that, the other thing. I mean, it seems like it's consequences have actions. Actions have consequences? That's what I was looking for. Actions have consequences, and it seems like the consequences have been fairly swift, where it's been entire players' points have been deleted, rightfully so, and their relative esports team that they are a part of has booted them for not respecting basically the rules of play. So, like I was saying, it's just, it sucks. I'm glad that the consequences were dealt fairly quickly. And at this point, we can kind of carry on. But I do want to send my condolences, or offer my condolences, to those that are in the first split, the GT1 category, that are actively participating and getting close to qualifying for the finals under the Renault banner, and then suddenly have this to deal with. We're like, dude, we were 9th, and now we have this, and now we're like on the cusp of not even qualifying due to this, you know? So, like I said, I offer my condolences because that sucks. That honestly sucks. That is something outside of your guys' realm that you now have to potentially drive harder, drive faster, take more risks, potentially have more accidents due to these risks to make up points that ultimately wasn't your fault. But it's with this day and age, now that we're focusing so much on sim racing is becoming such a big spectacle, and so many new parties are being involved in everything. Cheating has not been new to this, and it just sucks that it's now happening more frequently because people are trying to get an edge and they want to be able to get to the finals and potentially have a chance to win. And as far as sporting goes, cheating's always been there. It's always been, how can I gain an edge? And being able to race on behalf of other people is apparently the new way to do it. I mean, hell, that would have made so many of my previous races go by better. But just scummy. It's just, that's not why we're here. We're here to perform at our best, to show what we're capable of. And when you've got that going on, you're not getting that. So, like I said, kind of a bleak week for Gran Turismo. And I hope that the rest of the finals, or the World Series Qualifier, should I say, the Manufacturers' Cup, goes a little bit more smoothly and there's not any more nefarious activities uncovered. Because honestly, this is just taking up too much of the news. I just want to focus on my race and just kind of go from there, you know? So like I said a little bit earlier in the video, that is all I know at this moment about Thursday morning. So if there have been more developments, I'll try to post them wherever I can. It doesn't sound like any of the players have been officially banned from Gran Turismo, which is an interesting take. But, you know, like I said before, having all your points wiped and your esports team dropping you, I think is a fairly acceptable consequence for the moment being. So let me know down in the comments section your guys' opinions of this. If you think the penalties were too harsh, or you think the penalties were not harsh enough. Like I said, thank you much for watching this video. Leave your comments down in the comment section below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And like I said, I want to wash my hands of this, and let's focus on the last little bit of the Manufacturers' Cup. I've been having a lot of fun with it, so maybe I'll have another video about it, about the wrap-up of the Manufacturers' Cup, because it's been the most exciting, most fun racing that I've had. God, Spa was amazing. That round was just spectacular. So, again, let me know all of your thoughts down below. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great day today. Take care. Bye!